Alright guys, we're going to have to start in on a part 2. My battery was dead on my camera. Alright, so picking up where we left off. We were just cutting the front leading edge of our plans. Now we're on the back side of the jet. We're going to start 45-degree angle cuts in toward the front of the jet. And again, it's marked on here with an arrow and the degree angle you need. I'm just doing 45-degree angle cuts in. Looks like there's going to be 5 parts to this video now. Alright, again, another 45-degree angle cut. This is the back of our jet. This is one cool jet, you guys. I first designed it to be tailless, but there's just nothing like flying a jet with tails on it. And maybe later on down the road I'll go ahead and make up the plans on making a thrust vector system for it. So there we cut out our main wing. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and make up some plans somewhere down the road on making a thrust vector system on this 20-ounce foam cup. That way you can fly this thing tailless. Alright, so there we got our main wing cut out. We're just going to go ahead and set the dihedral on this. So we'd be grabbing our template that we cut out in part 1. And it's just straight cut. Here I got one already made up. I just took it, hot glued it down on an extra piece of foam. So we can set our dihedral. And what we're going to want to do is splay this open, run a nice big bead of hot glue down this. We're going to close it up and set it in here. And it's going to create that shape for us. It's going to set our dihedral. So what I'll do is go ahead and I got a little poker stick here that I'll take and score down the center of this. It'll open this up enough so we can get that dihedral we're looking for. Just like that. Set it in our little jig here. Make sure it bottoms out nice. And it does. So I'm going to go ahead and hot glue this, you guys. Again, make sure when you go to put this on that you center it really nice over your template. Don't be afraid to put a lot of hot glue on this center here. Alright, so I'm going to close it up, stick it down on our template. Our little gauge we made here. If you guys got any excess glue, just wipe it off with your fingers. I'm now making my jets to where the thrust tube's removable, so I can pull the thrust tube and the ESC and all the electronics off of that bat wing, and I can just install them right into my next jet. I already did a build video, it's uploading. Show you how to do it. You just go ahead and let this sit for a second, let this glue set up. There you see we got our dihedral set. And it's set right to our template that we cut out. You'll find you can use this template too for a lot of your build, just setting it on here and being able to work on your jet. And when you're installing your KF airfoil, it won't, it won't move around. And alright, so there we have our main wing cut out. Now let's go back to our top of our fuselage. Make sure you guys keep all your plans Alright, so here we have the top of our main fuselage. Here's the sides, the front, and then the top of it here. So what we're going to do, go ahead and come back here, take our foam, because we're going to need some scrap pieces. Go ahead and cut off any extra plans. They're just in the way, guys. So here I'm going to go ahead and tape this down on here. We're going to cut out the main fuselage and the top. I'm not going to use much tape, guys. Really don't take much to hold it in place. Alright. So these are just straight cuts on the top of your main fuselage. So we'll go ahead and start with those. And again, these are just straight cuts. And it's marked on the plan so you know. Go ahead and straight cut both sides. Now we got 45-degree angle cuts in. So I'm going to be cutting toward the inside of the piece. Go ahead and set it. Again, these are just 45s. Go ahead and trim off some of this excess stuff. Just be in your guys' way. So again, on the bottom, it's going to be a 45-degree angle cut in. They're all marked. Alright, now for the front of your fuselage, these are all 75-degree angle cuts in. So that means in toward your piece. We're going to make them 75-degree angle, which is a pretty good angle, guys, so set your blade nice and deep. There we go, that's about what I got right there. I'll go ahead and do all 4 of these. One more. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and use my X-Acto knife. Clean some of this garbage out of here. Go ahead and use my X-Acto knife to do the straight cut in the front here. So I want it to be nice and precise. If you guys just stay on your line and cut on top of a carpet, you get some really nice cuts. Like so. Now I'm going to finish this piece off by cutting both these 45s in the back. You know what, guys, before we do that, let's go ahead and, I got some lines up here on the front of your fuselage where it's going to bend around. You got to score these lines. It says right here, score line. You're going to score all 4 of those. So what I like to do first is just take and flip my piece over. We're going to want to clear tape the back of these lines. Just go ahead and stick clear tape wherever you think those lines connect. This will also strengthen our piece up. So I just crisscross them all over the place here. Because we're going to score this from the front and we don't want it just to fall apart. Alright, just like that, guys. Now we take our piece. Go back and score all these lines. And again, this is just your main fuselage. Remember, keep your pieces to your plans, because you'll need, for the front of this fuselage, when you go to make your air intake cutout, you'll have to tape these back together. Unless you get 2 copies of the plans, and then you can just use that copy. So again, you guys, I'm just scoring these lines. Don't cut all the way through. Let's go ahead and finish this piece off in the back with a 45. That should be it. And again, you guys want to keep these pieces, because you're going to use them later on to cut out your air intake. So you'll just tape them back together really nice. And then we're going to use this to cut that out on here. Remember, save all your plans. You never know when you might need to go back and use them. Alright, now we scored all these lines, so I'm just going to easily break them apart where I scored them. If some of them ain't deep enough, just go back and rescore it, just like so. There's our front and sides of our fuselage. Let's go ahead and just cut out this top of this fuselage piece. Again, I'm going to put these off to the back because I'm going to use them again. Just simply reach back here and grab another piece of our foam board extra. Now this is the top of our fuselage. And this is where our battery hatch is going to be cut in later. Don't cut that out yet. Remember, guys, just try to follow these steps I'm doing. Alright, might as well put a couple of pieces on here so it don't move. Alright, now this is a 45-degree angle cut all the way around the top of your main fuselage. So what I'm going to do is line my ruler up. Again, I'm cutting in toward the piece at a 45-degree angle. Do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm going to come in with my X-Acto knife and finish off the front and back. So I'll just freehand this. I'm going to do a 45-degree angle in on the piece. Just like that. And the same thing on the front. 45-degree angle in. Alright, so there's the top of our fuselage. Sometimes, guys, if your cuts ain't beautiful, you can go back and just clean them up. It's not really going to matter, because if some of them ain't perfect, we're going to go ahead and clear tape anyway, so they don't have to be exact. So now that we got the top of our fuselage, the sides of our fuselage and the front here, we're going to go ahead and glue this piece on here. Just like so. I'm just going to hot glue it on. Then I'll take and trim it up wherever I have to. So like, say for instance, right now I know I need to take off a little bit more. I didn't get my angle right, so I'm just going to trim off a little bit. Like I said, you guys can just go back and test fit it. Trim up where you guys have to. I'm happy with that right there. Alright, get my glue gun ready. Now what I'll do is I'm just going to go ahead and set one half of this, and then go ahead and hit the other half. So just go ahead and run a bead of glue just on one half of the main fuselage here. Go ahead and set it back on the ground. Like I said, it's easier to just set one half at a time, guys. Get it nice and tight. Wipe off any of that excess glue that pops up out of there. Make sure your piece keeps its shape. Just hold it there till that glue sets up. Yeah, it's a lot easier to just do one half at a time. So now that that's set up, go ahead and hit this side. Just like that. Make sure your piece is keeping a good shape. Make sure it's even on both sides. Give that a second to set up. As you can see, this is the top of our fuselage. There we go. If you guys got any glue that's overhanging, just clean it up. Usually just wipes right off. And we're going to go back and clear tape all this anyway, so all these cracks, you're not going to see them. Barely see them anyway right now. Alright, I got a little pocket here I want to fill in. Hot glue. Alright, so now you want to take your hot glue gun. We're going to go ahead and fill in these cracks with some hot glue. And what I'm going to do is run a bead and then run my finger down it to get it nice and smooth. And it don't take a lot of glue, guys, to fill these. See now right there, I didn't even have to use my finger because I just did a nice job of getting it down in there. This one here, I'll just simply run my finger down it, just like so. Gotta reload on some glue sticks here. Alright, so just go ahead and fill in all these cracks. Most of the time I don't even have to go back and wipe it. I can just fill them in real nice. Make sure you guys wipe off any excess so that your tape goes on really nice. There we go, we got the top of our fuselage done. And again, when you line this up, you want the front coming up to near the leading edge of the wing, and the back it should be centered between the whole airframe. So have the same amount of distance back here as you do off the leading edge. So there's that main airframe and the top of our fuselage all cut out. We already got our tail fins. Now let's go ahead and work on this KF airfoil, which is going to go on the bottom of the jet. And I don't seem to have my scissors around. There we go. Alright, we're just going to do 1/2 of each KF airfoil. So just go ahead and cut it right down the middle here. We'll just do half at a time. And I started using epoxy to put these on, 5-minute epoxy. That way you have more time to set it and they go on a lot more nicer. They add strength to the jet and everything. So again, I'm just cutting off half of the KF airfoil, which is going to add strength to this jet, plus make it a lot faster. The KF airfoil is going to be on the bottom. Go ahead and just cut half of your KF airfoil off. Might as well just go ahead and cut the other side. We're going to have to mark out both of these and make them on a piece of foam board. Alright, put our plans off to the back here. We'll probably be needing that stuff again. Alright, so here's both sides of our KF airfoil, and this is going to go on the bottom of our jet. Right on the underside. And make sure you use your templates, cut them off your plans, because this actually has the exact same cut on it that you made for the wing. So it works out good when we plan them on the back or on the bottom here. Just like so, they're going to go on the bottom of the jet, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this extra foam board I got laying here. Alright, this is also a big sheet of foam board you get at Office Depot, and it's actually big enough to make this whole jet, the whole main wing, but I just wanted to use the 2 sheets like I always do, and it's probably more easier to get the 2 sheets than it is to find the one big one. Alright, so let's go ahead and make these KF airfoils. Now what I'm going to do, guys, just to make this easy, I'll just put the template down on the foam board and just mark all your corners. And be careful not to let your piece move. Go ahead and just mark all your corners. And we're just going to connect these lines with a ruler. And this is the easiest way I found to do this stuff. Just mark all your corners real nice. Now you can even just take and move this off to the side just enough to keep the shape so you see what you're doing here. So now I'm just going to connect all these corners that we marked. Again, I'm keeping the airfoil right next to me here so I can look at it to see where these lines connect. It's actually pretty easy. We're going to have to make 2 of these pieces. You guys are going to love the way this jet flies. I have a lot of fun flying this one. Alright, so let's go back with our razor knife. Now as you can see, this is our leading edge of our jet. We're going to 45 the leading edge again. I'm just going to 45 it inward. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and 45 it to the outside of our piece.